You get on the internet and they're saying, millennials will never have a chance of owning a home. It's like, don't you speak that over me. I get on the internet and just rebuke stuff all day long. We'll probably never have children. I'll rebuke it. Now, I might be having children a little later, but goodness gracious. Y'all just open my phone and y'all just trying to prophesy over me. Don't do that now. Be careful what you say. Say that about yourself. Not me. What's up, everyone? If you can hear the sound of my voice, that means that you are listening to, actually, with Jordan Alexa, where perspective is on the hot seat. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just got done running. Hold on. Woo! Jesus. Here, we challenge conformity and ignite insight by encouraging you to think for your own self. And we do that by having conversations about the human thought process, about, y'all, we just be talking. And I am your friend who will tell you, I just ran up and down the stairs. I'm your friend, and I will tell you how it is, what it is, and if it is. Woo! How y'all doing? Like I said, I'm a little winded because I just ran up and down the stairs because I forgot something upstairs that I needed to film and I had to grab it and I came downstairs. But other than that, I'm doing great. First thing on the list is, I guess I'll start with saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys. We are officially like several weeks into 2024, even though I feel like it's supposed to be March. Like, we were 2 days into 2024, and I was like, has it been 2 weeks? Like, it feels like time is just going. Woo. Yeah. So we're about a few weeks into 2024, and everything's great. Everything's dandy. I just realized that my lit Christmas tree is in the back. Of course, I knew it was there when I was setting up, and I was like, it's fine, whatever. But, like, now I'm sitting here, it's like, that's trifling, because Christmas was, like, almost a month ago. Mind your business. It's none of your business. Yes, I have a lit Christmas tree back there. And you know what? I think it's there just because last year, first of all, I wanted to put my Christmas tree up the day after Halloween. I wanted to put it up before Halloween. And everyone's like, no, it's too soon. You can't. And this year, I'm not letting nobody tell me nothing. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Because now, look at me. I'm well into the next year, and my Christmas tree is still here. And by the time I put up the tree, I was too stressed. Like, there's no ornaments on it, not because I took them off, but because when I put the tree up, I was like, woo, it's too much going on. I'm not about to put no ornaments on a tree, like to think about color coordinating it, and it was just too much. Whatevs, who cares? But I guess, whatevs, that's just besides the point. Moving forward, something that I feel like I have to do, oh my gosh, y'all. First of all, I just want to say that I love y'all so much because over the break, at the end of the year, everybody, anything that you're signed up for, Spotify and Apple Music and all whatever, they be sending you all your business and all your analytics for the year. They like, you sat down for 100,000 hours this year. You listened to this much music this year. I found out that I'm in the top 2% of people in the world, like, that listen to Michael Jackson the most. I did not know that about myself. See, in my mind, I listen to Michael Jackson every now and again. But I'm in the top 2%. Anyways, enough about me. Back to you guys. So you guys know that like I struggle with like looking at the analytics, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm scared, whatever. And the only numbers that I usually see are like the numbers on YouTube. And I know that we have more listeners than we have watchers. Like literally, there's a solid 20, 25, 30 people who watch YouTube. And I don't even know why I upload videos on YouTube. I don't know, just in case. I don't know. It's so bad that like there's this guy who emails me all the time. He's like, your videos are too good for your watches. Anyways, I don't care. Because guess what I found out? I got sent one of those, reports about my analytics, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I should have known something was up because for like the last few weeks of December, I just kept getting, reports that my listeners was going up, whatever. Tell me why it said that there's like been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours listened to of the podcast. And then it said that the podcast is being listened to in 12 countries. 12 countries? I can't even name 12 counties in the state. 12 countries? Are you kidding me? And then it said that the top countries were the United States. And it's not like, oh yeah, the United States, I live here. It's like several states that like, I don't even know people in them states. It's like, what y'all doing listening to me up there? It's so crazy. So the United States, and then I think the next one was Mexico, which, in my mind, y'all my cousins. So it makes sense to me because I'm telling y'all, anytime I'm having a bad day, anytime I'm stressed, anytime you give me some Mexican food and a margarita, all is well. And it ends well. So Mexico, thank you so much. And then it said that the third was the United Kingdom. And I said, United Kingdom? What you guys doing? Listen to me all the way over there. United Kingdom? I'm sorry, that was probably terrible. But it's just like, United Kingdom? Oh my gosh. And then I think it gave me like the top 5. I think the next ones were like Nigeria and South Africa. And I know for sure I don't know nobody over there, but hey, y'all, what's up? Like, seriously, 12 countries is bananas. 12 countries is crazy. It's literally crazy. And I think that it was a testament to the fact that you just don't know who's watching. You just don't know who's listening. You don't know who's paying attention. And you guys know, I'll be like on the edge of quitting. I just be on the edge of quitting just because if life was up to me, I would live in the jungle with elephants eating fruit and that's it. So everything else is just kind of like, oh my gosh, but you guys make it worthwhile. And some of you guys, y'all learned from the last time because I did disappear last time. And people started messaging me like, where you're at? What you doing, girl? Where are you? And I was like, guys, what happened to, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Dang. But I'm back. I'm back. And I'm so happy to be back. I really didn't miss y'all. But yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, Happy New Year. It's 2024. First of all, the concept of 2024 is like crazy to me. Like, basically, I feel like there's flying cars everywhere. And because I just remember there was a time where like, when my nephew started kindergarten, they gave them all little shirts and they were like, the class of 2024. And I was like, class of 2024, like that's weird. Anyways, and it just like that, here we are. But something that I have been seeing on social media about the new year is that somehow people are saying that they're done. we're only a few weeks in. People saying throw all of 2024 away. They say that they done with it. They said that they tired of it. They said that it's enough. They said cut the show. They said that it's not living up to, what they thought it was going to be. And, I can understand a little bit because, something I used to say, which I think is like so pitiful and so sad. When I was like younger, I used to say, when they would be like, what's your New Year's resolution? I used to be like, no expectations, no disappointments. Somebody give me one of them emo bangs. You know what I'm talking about? They put the emo bang on you and say, 'cause tonight will be the night. Give me one of those. No expectations, no disappointments. Like, girl, I was so depressed. But when I look back on that, it's just like, I was so expecting of disappointment. I was so expecting of like things not going my way that I wouldn't even like look forward to doing anything. Like I wouldn't even look forward to setting any goals or anything like that. And I think the problem with people right now is because that I'm gonna think about it. And I think the problem is that like we get excited for the new year. I think like people turn the new year into like a fairy tale almost. Like they mystify it. And so we think that just because it's a new year, new things are just supposed to happen. And it's not. And so I feel like we get caught up in the noticing like the winds of life. Like as soon as we see something that looks like last year, we get disappointed immediately. And we just get caught up in, I don't know why, I just hear the winds of life. I don't even know what that means. But like as soon as we see something or feel something that looks familiar, we're like, whoop, here it goes again. And then you shut everything down in your body. It's just kind of like, whoop. Don't get me wrong. Things right now, I won't say that they're scary because let me tell y'all something. If Jesus decided to crack the sky open right now, I'm going. I'm going. If the sky crack open, I'm gonna just be floating up. Don't grab my feet. Don't grab my feet if because you're gonna pull me down and I got to go. I got to go be with my Savior. So I ain't scared, but it's just like, it's some crazy stuff going on right now. So I get it. Like, I also feel like people are like really exhausted. People are really tired. And it's just kind of like, you get on the internet and they're saying, millennials will never have a chance of owning a home. It's like, don't you speak that over me. I get on the internet and just rebuke stuff all day long. We'll probably never have children. I'll rebuke it. Now, I might be having children a little later, but goodness gracious. Y'all just open my phone and y'all just trying to prophesy over me. Don't do that now. Be careful what you say. Say that about yourself. Not me. But yeah, I get it that people are tired, but at the same time, it's just like, people just get discouraged by the winds of life. And I was reading about wind. Don't ask me why. I've always just randomly Googled stuff, and I just decided to Google something about wind. I don't know. But there's something called the Coriolis or something like that. And it's like so basically the earth is spinning, right? The earth is spinning. And Coriolis is like the wind that's from it is moving perpendicular to the direction that the earth is spinning. Now, don't quote me too much because I don't even remember why I was reading this, but when I was reading it, it was kind of like a fleeting thing. Like I was looking for something else, and this is what I got in the skimming. When I was looking for something else, I think I was looking at something about weather or something like that. Because, the cold front just, it was somewhere else, And then all of a sudden it came to us. And so I was like, what's going on? So anyways, Coriolis. And I was like, so what changes the directions of the wind? Like if the wind on Earth is all going in one direction because the Coriolis, why does wind change directions? Why is it strong over here, weak over there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so we're saying that like the direction of wind, how strong wind is, whatever, is based on like the terrain and like the local structure of where you are. And so I feel like when I was listening to the people say that they were tired of 2024, and I was like, it's kind of like that, right? Because if you think about society and culture and all the things that are going on, that's like the Coriolis. Like there's gonna be wind, there is gonna be things going on or whatever, whatever. But like what locally, how the local structure would be like you, right? The things around you, how you set things up, the decisions you make, the changes you make in your life that determine how strong, how weak, what direction that wind is going in, right? And so I feel like because we make the new year out to be like this magical thing, and it's not, we literally have to make changes and make decisions and make a point to actually see a difference. Yeah, I feel like we determine, as much as possible, because some things happen and it's like you can't control them, but you can control a good bit of things that happen in your life, based on your decisions. That's like for me, y'all, I've just accepted that I got ADHD. Ain't nobody diagnosed me, but like looking back at it, I think both my parents had it. My daddy said he got it. If he's saying he got it, I probably got it. My sister said she got it. I think she was actually diagnosed with it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell y'all my family medical history. Anyways, even though I feel like it don't matter if I got ADHD, I like the way my brain works. Should I care? I don't want to be medicated. Anyways, in the morning, if I don't grab a hold of my attention, and throughout the day, if I don't grab a hold of my attention, the day will be gone. The day will be gone. I'll look up and I'll be like, what did I do today? And the answer is dance. The answer is I probably read the Bible, prayed, went outside, stared at some trees, came inside, danced around, maybe went to the gym, maybe didn't make it. Like, it's just a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Like, if I have clients, I'll do the work, but it's like taking me longer to do the projects than it should because my focus isn't there. Or I'll just be, like I said, I will Google how long is a giraffe esophagus so quick. I don't know why that's what came to my mind. But anyways, the point I'm making is I have to grab a hold of my attention. I have to make a conscious decision. And sometimes, I have to drink coffee, like just sip a few sips of coffee, because apparently it helps people with brains like mine focus a little bit. Can't be too much because it'll make it worse. But anyways, I have to make conscious decisions or else my days are no good. I'm not productive. And I know this about myself, right? So there were a lot of days last year where, I don't want to say that I wasted my days, because last year was a lot about me getting back to like a mental place of like being myself and getting back to myself and, not being sad anymore, because I was sad for a long time. And so I don't want to say that I wasted my days, but there are a lot of days I didn't do nothing. And I did a whole bunch of something that equated to nothing. And so it's kind of like, I could attribute that to, this didn't happen for me. I could just be like, I was disappointed for another year. but I have to make a conscious decision. I literally have to grab a hold of myself. I got to treat myself like a child sometimes. So, yeah, I just want to say don't throw 2024 in the trash. We just got here, guys. We just got here. So if you need to make a schedule, hold yourself accountable. Find somebody to hold you accountable. Be nice to yourself. I mean, like I said, there's a lot going on, and I feel like sometimes we hold ourselves to like these really, really, really high standards, or we view everything from a big picture point of view. So that's like right now, like I got a lot of things going on. Like I'm launching a program in my business and all that stuff. Anytime I look at it from the scope of like the big picture, stunted. I'll stop. I won't. But once I like actually like break it up into small pieces, they say you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Why would you eat an elephant? Oh, I love elephants, especially the baby ones. They're so funny. They're so cute. But they say you eat they say you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So just if you have been discouraged by 2024 in any way, shape, or form, I beg you to change your perspective, please and thank you. I just did all that talking, and we didn't even get into our random question of the day. So let's go ahead and do that and answer this random question. All right, so random question. Let me roll the dice. Okay, it says, what irrational fears did you have as a child? Let me think. Irrational? Y'all, I was such a fearful child, it wasn't even funny. I was afraid of everything. But I also wanted to fight everything. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why I was like that. But I think the most irrational fear that I had as a child, I was afraid, and I mean like deathly in my soul. I was afraid of Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes. And I don't know why, but in the middle of the night, I thought that they were going to come to my house. And I didn't think they was going to do anything. I thought they were going to come to my house rapping. But I was afraid of them. And so I used to sleep. I used to put the covers, like, it was crazy. My mom used to yell at me about it. Because, like, if she tried to wake me up in the morning, she couldn't get the blanket to move. But I would put the blanket, I would hold it down with my head, hold it down with my arms, and hold it down with my legs, just in case they came rapping in my house. I felt like if they pulled on the blanket, they wouldn't be able to get me. And that was a very, very real fear. And I slept like that for years until I realized, they're not coming to my house. And then I really didn't care about them at all. But I did it so much that I still sleep like that to this day. I ain't afraid of nothing no more, but I still sleep just like that to this day. Let me think. Any more irrational fears? Because I was afraid of a lot of stuff. I was afraid of that song that said, somebody sleeping in my bed. I was afraid of that song, y'all. There's a lot of music that I was afraid of as a child. A lot of music. I was afraid of Blockbuster because the Blockbuster that we went to, not only do you see movies with like scary pictures on them, they had a life-size replica of Yoda in there. Like, what is he doing here? Get him out of here. I was afraid of Blockbuster, but I like loved movies. One of my favorite movies as a kid was Monsters, Inc., but I was afraid of Sully. Irrational. It's just a lot of irrational stuff. Terrified of bugs, terrified of spiders. But one of my favorite toys, when I was little, and this is the last thing I'll say. My favorite toy was actually not a toy. When I was little, I wanted to be a scientist. You couldn't pay my parents to think that I wasn't finna like become a scientist and be rich, right? I had a microscope, And I used to literally collect samples of everything. The most disgusting thing. Put it in little, either like the petri dish or the little slides that you put together. You put the solution on it and you put the little glass thing on it, or the plastic thing on it, and slide it under the microscope and you look at it. So I had that, but I also had this microscope that talked, and it had like bugs that you could slide in and look at their wings and look at their legs, on the hairs on their legs and stuff like that, and it would tell you fun facts about them. But I was afraid of bugs. But anyways, that's besides the point. Random question for a random answer. But it just goes to show you how fear really is like crazy. Fear really is crazy, because I used to be afraid of a lot of stuff and none of those things affected me. But I also think I was afraid of, so sorry. I was terrified of Space Jam. And I'm saying this because as an adult, I'm not afraid of anything anymore. And I believe in my heart of hearts it's because my sister, my older sister, she didn't want me to come in the room. She would say, Space Jam is on, Space Jam is on. And I was like, no, turn it off. But she used to scare me with like any chance she got, she used to scare me. I was talking to her the other day. I know I said that the last story was the last one, but this is the last one. I was talking to her the other day because I saw a meme about how like older siblings tell their younger siblings that they found them in the trash can and they adopted them. So I sent it to her. And, we were just talking about it, and I told her that I used to be so like sad, and I used to be so scared to like confess to my mom that I knew that she adopted me. And so at one point we moved to another city, and on the city, y'all ever seen those signs that say like adopt a road? Well, of course, I'm 7. I can read enough to know that it says adopt a road, but I don't know what it's about. So I thought we moved to a community for families with adopted children. And I didn't know. I felt like if I confessed to my mother that I knew she adopted me, that she would be distraught. And so, like, I just held on to it for years. And sometimes I would be, like, on the school bus, and when we would pass the signs, I would just cry. I'm like, dang, I'm adopted. Mind you, I am, like, a fusion of both my mother and my father. Like, I look like both of them jokers. Yeah, I lived a good portion of my life in fear, but now you'd have to pay me to scare me, because I'd be acting. I ain't afraid of nothing. I ain't scared of nothing. It's so crazy how if you're not careful, fear can literally like control your entire life. It really can. And sometimes you don't even realize that it's controlling your life, right? Because like I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was saying that like we don't realize that our brains are set up to keep us alive. It's for survival, right? So anything that is like uncomfortable, out of our comfort zone. We were talking about like going to pursue our dreams and being a go-getter. And your brain is literally set up for you to survive, right? So anything that is uncomfortable, anything that goes against the grain, anything that is unnatural to what you usually do is a threat. So your brain says, no, you don't have to do that. No, that's not necessary, because it's trying to survive. And of course, in a normal situation where fear is warranted and your brain is trying to keep you alive. But in everyday life, when you're sitting down and you've got this, vision to go and do something, or you have this big goal that's like really like shaking you up on the inside, it's like the hesitation that you feel is from fear, right? And I think sometimes we don't know how much fear is driving our decisions. And I was talking to, you already know, my partner, my best friend. I was about to call him a player, but he's not a player. Okay. My Father in heaven. I was talking to God. I was trying to do some planning for the new year. And, I was talking to God, and the way he be talking to me sometimes, I was like, dang, you slick disrespectful. But then at the same time, it's like, you not disrespectful because this is for my betterment. But I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him, and I'm just like, yeah, and I want to do this in 2024, and I want this, and this. I pray you do this for me, and I pray you do that for me, and because I just got done learning about faith, right? Well, not learning about faith. He told me that my faith ain't up to par, right? So let me start from here. I was talking to God one day, and he said, I was basically sitting there thanking him for everything that he did in 2023. And he was like, yeah, but you asked for me, you asked for those things with little faith. Can I say amen first? I'm in it Lord, you did this, and thank you for this, and thank you for that. And he's like, yeah, but you asked for those things in little faith. Of course I could do it. That's how he was saying it. But of course not arrogant, but he was just like, yeah, I did it. You didn't really put that much pressure on me. And I was just like, oh. So I went through this thing where he was just talking to me about seeds of faith, right? So he's talking to me about seeds of faith. And I had this vision of this land that was slick desolate. And it had trees in it. And the trees were alive, but they were no leaves, no flowers. They had big branches and stuff like that. But there was nothing on them. And so I was just like, what's this, Lord? He was like, that's you. And I was like, hello? That's rude. And he was talking to me about how land that is desolate is land that, basically hasn't been tended to. Nobody has sowed any real seed into it. And he was saying that the trees that I saw, they were alive and, they were strong trees, but they weren't flourishing. And so that's my life, right? I'm always telling you all my business. Dang. Anyways, that's my life. And they represented, different things in my life that they're alive and they're strong, but they're not flourishing, We can even say that that's actually me. I'm alive, I'm well, I'm doing stuff, but am I doing things to my full capacity, my best potential, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now I could tell you no. If you probably would have asked me back then, I would have been like, I'm tired. I'm doing everything I can. But now, I could tell you no, I wasn't. And so I was like, well, what is it, Lord? What could it possibly be? So we talked about the seeds of faith, and he told me that I need to ask for bigger. And I was like, well, God, why don't I ask for bigger? Why when I pray, I don't know about y'all, but I know some people who when they pray for big stuff, and they don't doubt God one bit. They're he's gonna do it. And I'm just okay. And I just wait. And when he do it, I'll be like, dang, I know that he probably just did it because they really did believe. They believed for real, for real. They believed. And when I pray sometimes, well, not now because I went through all that, but now I'm I want this, and make sure you do this. I'm I've learned to get specific, right? Anyways, back then when I used to pray, it used to be real general. And if I did ask for something specific, I'm and if you could please do this, that would be great. But if not, it's fine. Let your will be done. You don't have to do it. Like I would literally like recoil like as soon as I would ask for something. Still not asking for things that are big, still not asking for things that are too specific. But it's like if it started to tiptoe on the line of if I don't see this happen, I'm gonna be disappointed. I knowing that now that's what I was doing. I would be like, no thank you. And so I was like, God, why don't I ask for big things, or why don't I put great expectation on you, or why don't I believe that you can do amazing things for me? And he said, you got to get rid of the residue. And I was like, residue of what? What are you talking about? And so, like I've mentioned on here before, I've dealt in my life, I've dealt a lot with like anxiety, depression, and I just want to say that I was reading a journal excerpt. Go back if you write a journal, and this is why it's important to keep a journal. Go back and read what you wrote in those journals, because I remember I wrote in a journal and like at the end of 2022, and I was talking about how like my thoughts aren't foggy anymore, and I don't feel depressed, and how like I overcame anxiety and stuff like that. And it was just such a beautiful thing. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because I used to be really sad, y'all. I used to be like going through it for real. And the thing is, I didn't even realize I was going through it because it was such a normal like part of my thought process and my habits or whatever. But anyways, I overcame a lot of that stuff, right? Overcame a lot of that stuff, made it through, was able to get to the other side. But I think a lot of times something that we don't realize is we still have habits from those times in our life, right? So I've talked to like several people who have gone through like drastic weight loss transformations. And one of the hardest things for them to do, other than resist cravings, like psychologically, if they get to a place psychologically, the first thing they think is, I need a cake, not a slice of cake, a whole cake. That's how I be feeling. I need a tub of ice cream. Like their habits, some habits lie dormant until a situation brings it up, right? Another thing is like they have to figure out how to buy new clothes because they're used to wearing a certain thing. So shopping is a new experience for them. So for some of them, shopping is like really hard. It's really triggering, or it's like they keep buying things that are too big for them because it's a habit that they formed in that season of their life. Even if they learn their new size, they'll still dress themselves a certain way. And it's kind of like those clothes aren't flattering on you because the way they're laying on you, you look like you're in a potato sack. But that's how they're used to covering themselves up because they used to feel a certain way about themselves when they were, whatever. Apparently, y'all, according to God, it's the exact same way. With thought process, trauma. Don't everything lead back to trauma. Ain't you sick of it? Because I am. Whatevs. But there are habits that we may form in a certain time of our life. And you, like myself, may get to a place where I'm glad to say that I don't deal with anxiety on the levels that I did in my life. Every now and again, it knock on the door and I'd be like, no. I don't deal with depression the way I used to deal with depression. However, there are habits that I formed during that time in my life. Even in my marriage. My husband, y'all, if my husband got it, I got it. And he always been like that, even when we was just friends. Before we even looking at each other like, ooh, I like you. If he got it, I got it. That's my dog. I love my husband. Sorry, y'all. I really do love my husband. Anyways, if he got it, I got it. And there's like sometimes like I'll be doing something. He be like, "What are you doing? Like, don't do that." Or that's what I'm here for. Or you should have just called me. Or, but that's because at a certain point in my life, I had to do everything. I was talking to somebody and I did something and they started laughing. They said, "You got brothers, huh?" I said, I was the brother. Me. I took out the trash. I cut yards. I chainsawed the trees. I did all of that. I was the brother, right? So now that I'm married and I have this husband who is literally providing for me, literally, if I need something, I mean, he'll come running, swift like Taylor. Okay. There are habits that I have to break because I was having to do certain things in that season of my life. So basically, anyways, God said that I had to get rid of the residue. And I'm like, the residue of what? Right? So here's the deal. I had to be intentional and sit down and take inventory of my habits. And there's still things popping up to this day because once again, me and God had this conversation, 2 months ago? And there are certain things that I'll do and I'm like, I'll be doing it and Lord be like, that's residue. And I'm like, oh my God. For example, procrastination. I don't know why I just did that. If I look at procrastination as like a big, big headache for me right now, right? Like I literally have to get up and kick it in the face because, some people like, oh yeah, I work better under pressure. And it's like, you actually don't work better under pressure. You just have to work now that the pressure is there. There's just no choice. You literally have to do it now. So it's not that you work better. You probably could have created something better if you would have spaced it out and did it diligently and over a span of time. But procrastination. Procrastination for me comes from a place of fear. Procrastination for me comes from a place of experiencing disappointment. Procrastination for me comes from the season in my life where, I have always dreamed big, right? And I tell people that I dream big, not by desire, but by design. Because like I said earlier, if it was up to me, I'd be in the jungle with some elephants and some fruit. And I'll be fine. I will be George of the jungle. I would be Jordan of the jungle. I would be fine if I was Jordan of the jungle. But I dream big by design because I believe that, well, that's loaded. I believe that God puts certain things in certain people because gifting is about ability, but it's also about capacity. And if the way you're made, you have a certain capacity to do something, then God will send you somewhere to accomplish a certain thing for his kingdom. That's a whole other conversation for another day. I dream big by design. So there's a point in my life where I was going everywhere and telling everybody, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to be famous. I don't even know how you say I talk about this all the time. I don't know how you said I was going to be famous, but I did. And I believed it with my whole heart. Even when I thought I was going to be a marine biologist, I was going to be the people swimming with the whales, like doing the show. Like if I was going to do something, it was going to be big. It wasn't going to be mundane. It wasn't going to be regular. So at that point in my life, I would tell everybody. I mean, everybody. And time after time after time, I got laughed at. And it's not for a lack of talent. It's just that people didn't believe that it could happen, kind of thing, you know? So there's a point in time where I did not dream big. I didn't believe for anything. I didn't for a good minute, right? So now I'm back at a place where I am back in that mindset again. And that's how I know that I am being freed or have been freed from a lot of the things that I have dealt with, because it's like my mind has gone back to that 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, right? But as I am back in that set mindset, the habit of procrastination comes from, what if they laugh at me? Ooh. What if they don't believe in me? Ooh. What if they say it can't be done? Ooh. So I just don't do it. And honestly, if it was up to me, I just wouldn't do it. The only reason why it becomes procrastination is because there's something in me that says, do it. Get up and do it. Like, there's something in me that just won't let me not do it, right? So you gotta get rid of the residue. Same as fear success. Same as, what's something else that we do? Same as, for me specifically, y'all, I just be telling my business for no reason. For no reason, I'll be telling my business. But every day, I've gotten to a point where I don't apply anymore. But I will literally go to a job description and read it and think about working that job. I'll think about working that job. I'll think about the stability. I'll think about the money. But there was a point in time where I was applying after applying after applying after applying. And the Lord was like, I already told you you're not getting in that way. I already told you that. And I just kept applying and applying and applying and applying and applying and applying. And he was like, you're applying because you don't believe, girl. And don't you know, people look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, just get a job. Well, I do have a job. And they're like, just get a job doing this. Just do that. Just do that. And I'm like, y'all, talk to God. Stop talking to me. Because I've been trying. And he's been saying no. So, I don't even know what the moral of that is. Get rid of the residue. Get rid of the residue. First things first, believe big. Faith is real, y'all. It's something that I'm learning. And, you know, I'll tell this story. So around, I want to say it's October of last year, I had a lump in my arm, right? And when I first got it, we didn't think nothing of it because I'm clumsy. I showed it to my husband. My husband literally said, you probably just bumped into something. And I bump into stuff so much that, like, I have no idea. Like, he'd be like, I'll be like, oh, dang, my arm is hurting. He'd be like, you bump into something? Maybe. Like, that's how clumsy I am. So we just wrote it off. And so, like, 2 weeks later, we're realizing that this lump is not going anywhere. So I'm researching, trying to figure out, what it is. And, Google will kill you. So I just looked at it on Google, and sure enough, Google wrote me off and said, you're done, girl. That's cancer. And so I was freaking out, and I texted, several family members, and I was talking to my dad specifically, and my dad was saying, like, you really do need to go get it checked out because, you know, my stepmom works in skin, and she looked at it and she was able to tell me what it was or whatever. And so they're basically saying, like, it's lymphoma. And the thing about lymphomas is they can be benign, but they can also be cancerous. And, you know, recently, cancer's just been popping up in my family for whatever reason. And everybody has been healed. Can we just bless? Can we just praise God real quick? Every single person in my family that has gotten cancer is cancer free. Woo! My God. When I tell you, I had to call on the name of the Lord. Anyways, so they were like, you know, cancer's been popping up out of nowhere. You need to go get that checked out. Turns out, even if it's not cancerous, I have to get it cut out of my arm, regardless. And they were saying, like, you know, some signs that it's not good is if it's like hot to the touch, if you notice that it's like on tendons and it's like crushing. And it was doing all of that, y'all. It was doing all of that. And so, like, I broke down. I was through. I was like, Lord of all things, you not finna do this to me. You not finna do this to me. And so they're like, you have to go get it tested. So I was upset because either it's cancerous or it's benign. And if it's still benign, I still have to cut my arm open. Like, I have to get it cut open. And so we're praying. And we're like, you know, Lord, just send the funds, release the funds. At this point, just let me be able to go get it cut out. So, you know, if it's cancer, we can catch it. If not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I remember one day my husband came, he was just, you know, my husband randomly just prays for me. Which he always has. Sometimes he'd be praying for me and I'll be like, is there a spirit involved? Because the way he, sometimes in the middle of the night, when we first got married, I'm sorry, this is a tangent. Y'all know how I do. In the middle of the night when we first got married, I would be sleeping so good and I just feel a hand on my head. And all you hear is, in the name of Jesus, in Jesus' name. And I'll be sitting there like, I got a demon? Like, why are you praying for me this hard in the night? Like, what did I do? So anyways, my husband randomly just prays for me. So he walked up and he's praying for me. He started praying for my arm. And when he did that, it like did something. Like, it, you know, I said, like, it was like on my tendons or whatever. The pressure got worse. And when that happened, I was like, oh no, this feels like the devil. Didn't even know how else to call it. So I remember I was in church and I was worshiping, and the Lord said specifically to, you know, get my husband to pray for it with holy oil. Mind you, guys, at this point, the lump is on me for maybe like a month and some change. They say, like, if it's been on you for like 2 weeks, go get it checked immediately. Like, it's emergent that you go get it. And I had no money to go get my arm looked at. But anyways, at this point, it's on me for a minute. And the Lord, I remember I had a vision. I saw specifically my husband praying for my arm with holy oil. So I told my husband on the way home from church, when we get home, you're going to get that oil. You're going to touch my arm and you're going to pray for me. We're not praying for funds. We're praying that the Lord is going to heal me. Don't y'all know that next morning, don't y'all know that next morning I woke up and the lump was gone? Gone. No trace, no nothing, no cuts, no cancers, no nothing. Gone. So faith is real. Believing in God is real. Believing in God for big stuff is real. And after that, you couldn't tell me nothing. After that, we even had something happen to where, y'all, our car broke down out of nowhere. Our car broke down and was not working right on Sunday. Don't you know we had a new car by the next day? Oh! Y'all, I'm about to go up. And I say all that to say, like, even, even with little faith, y'all, God did some crazy things with little faith. I believed him with little faith. And he did things that I couldn't even fathom or imagine. He did things that I was just like, and it's like, of course he took the lump away. He's a miracle worker. Of course you went to bed one day wondering what's going to happen for your transportation and went and picked up a new car the next day because he performs miracles with little faith. And so imagine what God can do if you, number one, get rid of the residue and allow yourself to believe with big faith. That's what 2024 is about. I've been calling 2024 plenty 24. I don't know it's going to be plenty of good. I don't know what's going to be it because I did ask for some stuff. I did sow some big seeds of faith. We shall wait and see. But I've been calling 2024 plenty 24. So if you sick of 2024, if you're over it, listen. Adjust that perspective, get rid of the residue, and put your faith in God. Take your faith out of yourself. Take your faith out of your situation. Take your faith out of your job. Take your faith out of circumstance. Take your faith out of what it is that you know and understand, how life goes. Take your faith out of that and put it in God. Well, that's all I have. I hope I said something because, like I said, I just wanted to come here and show up because I haven't seen y'all since really November, I think. So hopefully that was okay. We'll see. If you guys like this episode, let me know. If not, you can keep it to yourself. I'm just kidding. Make sure you follow me. That's another thing. Y'all are not following the podcast page. Y'all are bypassing the podcast page and going to my page. If y'all want me to delete the podcast page, just say that. Dang. Y'all are following me. Y'all supposed to be following all these strangers. I love y'all. I really do. But it's just like, dang, y'all see me? That's weird. So if you could follow us on Instagram, go to actually.jordanalexa. Don't go to my page. Okay, you can't follow me. Just kidding. You can follow me. I don't care. I really don't care. I love you guys. I'm going to go to bed because I'm extremely tired. And, yeah. So, get rid of the residue and allow yourself to have faith. Big faith. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. I love y'all. This has been another episode of Actually with Jordan Alexa. Bye.